Rabotai, I would like just to do quick revision to explain what we learned and to remind everyone what we learned in chapter 20. We learned that David HaMelech is telling Jonathan that his father Saul wanted to kill him. Jonathan Ador doesn't believe it and said to David HaMelech, I don't understand what you're talking about. My father promised me that he's not going to harm you. So how can you say that? David HaMelech tell Jonathan, listen, I have people from inside the palace, people that telling me that your dad are planning to kill me. Listen to what I'm telling you. And if you don't believe me, please, let's make a test. Let's check it up if you really want to kill me or not. And David HaMelech suggests to do the test of Rosh Chodesh. We call it the test of Rosh Chodesh. What does it mean? David HaMelech said to Jonathan, listen, your father every Rosh Chodesh he slaughter the Korban Rosh Chodesh, and he invite to that meal, okay? He invite all the officers, all the ministers, and as one of the officer in the army, I'm going to be obviously being invited like usually. But you're going to tell your dad that you've given me a permission to go and celebrate with my family in Bethlehem, okay? To be with my family, to do the sacrifice in Bethlehem. And let's see how your dad going to react for my absence. And that was the test that David HaMelech suggested to Jonathan. Jonathan obviously heard that and took it and he listened to it. And what's happened? We know what's happened after that, that on the first day, Shaul didn't say a word, but on the second day, Shaul asking Jonathan, where's Ben Ishai? Where's David HaMelech? Why is he not here eating with us? Why is he doesn't eat with us? Jonathan said to his father, I given him a permission to go to be with his family, to do the Korban of Rosh Chodesh with his family. And then came the reaction that Jonathan didn't expect, that his father Shaul blaming him, that he's actually cooperating with David HaMelech, that he's a traitor, that trying to destroy Shaul HaMelech. And we saw that Jonathan took it so personally, and he realized that David HaMelech was 100% right, that his father wanted to call him. And we explain how he described, how did he call Jonathan, how he embarrassed him in public. And Jonathan realized that David HaMelech was right. And Shaul said to Jonathan that David HaMelech is a traitor and he deserved the punishment of death. And there was no more debate if the father want to kill him or he doesn't want to kill him. Now Jonathan knows for sure that his father looking for David HaMelech. The following morning, Jonathan going with his servant to the field, we say. It was how the king and prince used to walk they used to have an early morning walk, and Jonathan pretend that he's practicing with the arrow, and it was a code that he told the young boy that collecting all the arrows, that he understood that now when he shoot it, and he said to the boy, listen, I shot the arrow very far from you, much further than you, please go further. It was a hint to David HaMelech that he have to run and he can't stay anymore. That means that he was right. Shaul HaMelech wanted to kill him. That's basically a summarize to chapter 20. Now we're going to move to chapter 21. We have our Baal Koreh with us, Jeffrey, Rosh Chodesh Tov. We're going to start. Vayakom, Vayelech, Vayonatan ba ha'ir.
David arose and left, and Jonathan came back to the city.
Okay, what's happening here? The prophet Samuel telling us that in that verse, David HaMelech rose. What it means rose? The Metzudot David, that it's a commentary on a Tanakh, Rabbi David Al-Chela, he born in Galicia 338 years ago, explained by that the prophet said that David rose. It means David immediately was in a hurry to escape from Shaul HaMelech. And Jonathan returned back to the city to pretend like nothing happened. But he returned after the boys that carry all of his weapon, the arrow and the bow, he came after him to the city, so no one will realize that something was wrong. In verse 2, the prophet tells us, Vayavo David Nova, El Ahimelech HaKohen, Vayihrad Ahimelech לקראת דוד, ויאמר, מדוע אתה לבדך, ואין איש איתך.
David came to Nov, to Avimelech the Kohen. Avimelech hurried to greet David and said to him, "Why are you alone, with no one accompanying you?"
What's happening here? In this verse, the prophet described that David HaMelech, after he escaped, he ran immediately to the Nov, the city of Nov. The city of Nov was a city of priests. Everyone in the city of Nov that lived in the city was only priests. Nachon, that people come that from other cities that was not Kohanim, but they brought a sacrifice, or they come to daven, because in the city of Nov, that's where they made the Mishkan, the tabernacle. Okay, David HaMelech didn't know where to run. After he escaped, he decided to run to Nov, the city of the Kohanim. When Ahimelech saw the David HaMelech, he was terrified. David HaMelech arrived by himself, okay? He saw David HaMelech by himself, he was shocked. And he said to David HaMelech, how come that you by yourself? I know that you one of the minister of the army, you're one of the chief officer in the army. For a guy like you to walk by yourself, it's not normal. How come that you're here by yourself? That's the pshat of the dvarim. The Metzudot David explained that Ahimelech, by the way, I didn't explain, but Ahimelech was the higher priest in that time. He said to David HaMelech, I don't understand how a respectable man like you, okay, walking alone, it's something not normal that a chief in the army will walk by himself with no guards. How come that you walk alone? That's what Ahimelech said to David. Let's see what David HaMelech answered him. ויאמר דוד לאחימלך הכהן, המלך ציווני דבר, ויאמר אלי, איש אל ידע מאומה את הדבר אשר אנוכי שולחך, ואשר ציוויתיך, ואת הנערים יודעתי אל מקום פלוני אלמוני.
David said to Ahimelech, the Kohen. The king ordered me on a mission and told me, no man must know anything about the matter for which I have sent you and commanded you. Thus I informed my attendants to be at a certain secret place.
What's happening here? What is Ploni, Almoni, special place? We have to understand. David HaMelech basically said to Ahimelech, the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, that he been sent on a secret mission by the king, and no one allowed to know that he's on a secret mission. Okay, and I told my soldier, the guy that came with me, that usually walk with me, okay, to stay and to wait for me in a place that called Makom Ploni Almoni. What does it mean, Makom Ploni Almoni? A place that is Ploni, unknown place. What does it mean, unknown place? The Mefarshim explain that it's, if you look at the word Ploni, Milshon Pele, Pele v'mechuse, that it's unknown, okay, but also there is a miracle in that place. So what does it mean, Almoni? Why did he add up Almoni? Almoni, it means that Milshon Ilem. Ilem is done. That's not allowed to speak about it. I'm not allowed to give you any more information. So therefore, Ahimelech, when he heard that, Ahimelech, the Kohen Gadol, didn't ask any more question because he knew that David HaMelech was the son-in-law of Shaul HaMelech. He never imagined in his wild dream that there is now a problem between Shaul and David HaMelech. And if David HaMelech tell him that he come on a secret mission, that he hinting to him, Ploni Almoni, it's a place that very secret, where my soldier hiding. I can't give you any more information. He didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to ask too much. In verse 4, the prophet tells us like this, ואתה, מה יש תחת ידך? 5 לחם, תנה בידי, או הנמצא.
And now, what do you have available? 5 loaves of bread? Give them, or whatever there is, into my hand.
What's happening here? The prophet said that David HaMelech asking Ahimelech, listen, נכון that I've been sent on a secret mission, but we have to leave in such a hurry that we didn't even have a chance to take with us food. We have nothing with us. Therefore, I know that usually you have 5 loaves of bread, and here referring to lechem apanim. Lechem apanim is the bread that used to be on a table in the tabernacle. And please, if you have those 5 bread, give them to me. If not, even if you have any other kind of bread, just give it to me and to my soldiers. Something here already making a person think, why is David HaMelech asking for food? Every normal human being will say, listen, he obviously on a run. Because Ahimelech never thought that there is any variable between King Saul and David HaMelech. He never even imagined that can be. Because David HaMelech always fought for who? For Shaul HaMelech. He saved the Jewish people from the Plishtim by killing Goliath. So no one even imagined that David HaMelech is on a run. Let's look at verse 5. ויען הכהן את דוד, ויאמר, אין לחם חול, אלא תחת ידי, כי אם לחם קודש יש. אם נשמרו הנערים, אך מאישה.
The Kohen answered David, saying, I have no ordinary bread available. There's only sacred bread, provided that your attendants have kept themselves from women. That's strange.
Well, very strange. What's happening here, huh? You have to understand. In this verse, the prophet said that Ahimelech said to David HaMelech, listen, I have only holy bread. That bread, only people that pure can eat from that bread. Ordinary bread we don't have enough. We have only holy bread. Did your soldier, your servant, those that hiding in a secret place, did they keep themselves from woman? What it means kept themselves from woman? We have to understand exactly what does it mean. First, let's explain about the bread, the holy bread. I would like first to explain, and then I'll explain about the woman. The Radak explained, the Radak, Rabbi David Kimhi, he born in France, he born around 885 years ago. He wrote commentary on all the Tanakh, okay? Or most of the Tanakh and the Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. And he explained like this, and also the Metzudot David that we brought earlier, that what this holy bread that he mentioned, Ahimelech, it's referring to the thanksgiving bread, Lahmei Todah. The Malbim explained, the Malbim is Rabbi Meir Lebush Michael Weiser, okay? He born in Ukraine 216 years ago. He explained that what is mean the thanksgiving bread, that those the bread that the children of Israel used to bring to the Kohanim. No one allowed to eat from it because they're holy. So Ahimelech said to David HaMelech, tell me, your soldier, your servant, that with you on a special mission that they're hiding, did they been with a woman? What does it mean being with a woman? Did they been with a wife for the last 3 days? Okay, why? Why did he say that? In that time, I have to explain that if a person been with his wife and they have a physical relationship, okay, he have to go to the mikvah to cleanse himself. Okay? He said that bread, a person that if he been with his wife and never gone to cleanse himself, he can't eat from that bread. Therefore, we have a problem. So Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, that born in the city of Troa 985 years ago, explained that. He said that how can that Ahimelech said to David HaMelech, if one of your soldiers been with his wife, okay, and they have a physical relationship, I'm not allowed to give that bread to them. Why? Because they are contaminated. And this bread, you have to eat it while you're pure, because it's Lahmei Todah. That's Rashi HaKadosh explained. The Ralbag is Rabbi Levy ben Gershom. He born 737 years ago, also in France. And he explained that he's saying, by that he's saying to David HaMelech, Ne'arim. He hinting to David HaMelech that if one of them, one of those men, that the youngsters that been with their wife, obviously the young men, there's a good chance that they've been with their wife, and therefore they're not allowed to eat from that holy bread. What does it mean? It means that the word ne'arim means youngsters. not elderly people. Youngsters usually, okay, they have more excitement, okay? They have more energy. Old person is not all the time have the energy. I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. He said, therefore, he called them Na'arim to hint to David HaMelech, Ahimelech actually hinting to David HaMelech, we have to be careful before I give you those 5 bread, that God forbid that one of your soldiers been with his wife and is contaminated and is pure. He cannot eat from those 5 bread. And verse 6, let's see how David HaMelech answered Ahimelech. ויען דוד את הכהן, ויאמר לו, כי אם אישה הצורה לנו כתמול שלשום בצאתי, ויהיו כל כלי הנערים קודש, והוא דרך חול, ואף כי אם היום יקדש בכלי.
David answered the Kohen and said to him, women have been withheld from us yesterday and the day before. Moreover, when I left, the garments of the attendants were pure. Even though this is a mundane mission, surely today it will remain sacred in a proper vessel.
Okay. In this verse, David HaMelech actually answered now Ahimelech. And he said to him, the soldier, those youngsters that with me, they wasn't with a woman for 3 days already. Because since we left for that mission, the Metzudot David explained that David HaMelech saying to Ahimelech that not only that we left 3 days ago, even the clothes that they're wearing, they are pure. And then he said, derech hol. What it mean, derech hol? Said David HaMelech to Ahimelech HaKohen, he said, even if those soldiers, those youngsters, was not pure, okay, because you're saying that the bread is so holy, but now that you took it off the table, from the tabernacle, they become normal bread, okay? And not only that, he's saying to David, David HaMelech saying to Ahimelech, listen, there is here a matter of life and death, because we didn't eat already for 3 days. Listen to that. We on that mission, and we didn't eat for 3 days. It's a matter of life and death. And matter of life and death, you're allowed to eat from that bread. That means that in this verse, David HaMelech actually given Ahimelech all the answer that he needed to hear to give the bread to David HaMelech. In verse 7, listen what it said, ויתן לו הכהן קודש, כי לא היה שם לחם, כי אם לחם הפנים, המסורים מלפני השם, לשום לחם חום ביום הילקחו.
So the Kohen gave him sacred food, for there was no other bread there except for the showbread that was being removed from before Hashem, in order to place hot bread on the day it is taken off.
What does it mean? Here the prophet described that Ahimelech took the 5 loaves of bread that was on a table, okay, and he given it to David HaMelech. Why did he give him those 5? We have to understand. The prophet said because there was no ordinary bread there, no other bread there, not normal bread there, only those bread. We have to understand why, number one. But then he said that the bread was warm. But wait, they used to bake the bread from Shabbos and until the next Shabbos that they used to bake. So how come that this bread was warm? The Mefarshim explain that a miracle used to happen. As long that it's sitting on a table, it used to keep fresh and warm, the same like it's been taken from the oven. Okay, now the Radak asked a question. In the entire city of Nov, there is no ordinary bread. All the city of Nov, not one ordinary bread, not holy bread. Said the Radak, Rabbi David Kimchi, yes, they didn't need ordinary bread because the bread that they used to take off the table, it used to have so much prosperity on it that it used to last them one part of the loaf, used to last them all week. It was so much prosperity in that bread that they didn't need any other bread. And why? Because the entire city of Nov was only Kohanim. And only the Kohanim can eat from that holy bread. Another interpretation, okay, that the Radak bring, that Ahimelech given David HaMelech from what was belonged to him as a high priest, okay, what belonged to him personally, okay, not from whatever left from the other Kohanim. Why? Because the other Kohanim got their share. What he given David HaMelech, it was only from his share. That means whatever he's supposed to take from the 5 loaves of bread, the share that he's supposed to take, he given to David HaMelech. So we see from here that there is different interpretation why Ahimelech was so worried that the soldier that with David, they call them the Na'arim. Na'arim is youngsters. Why Dafka youngsters? Because they have energy. He was worried that Chas v'Shalom, they're not, that maybe one of them is not pure or some of them not pure, they're not allowed to eat from that bread. Okay, in verse 8, look what the prophet tells us. ושם איש מעבדי שאול, ביום ההוא נעצר לפני אדוני, ושמו דואג האדומי, אביר הרועים אשר לשאול.
Now, there on that day was one of Saul's servants who lingered before Hashem. His name was Doeg, the Edomite. He was the chief of Saul's shepherds.
What's happening here? We have to understand. In that verse, the prophet telling us that one of the servants of King Saul was in Nov Era Kohanim. Who was that man? His name was Doeg Adomi, that we spoke earlier. We mentioned him earlier. We have to understand why they call him Doeg Adomi, the Edomite. Number two, what it means Abir Ro'im? And what is he doing there? Why is not with King Saul? Why is he at the city of Nov? Bezrat Hashem will answer all of those. So let's explain step by step. First of all, Doeg Adomi, when he came to the city of Nov, he came to pray. And he came to do itbodedut with the Almighty. That means he came to the Mishkan in Nov, to the city of Nov, where was the Mishkan. And he wanted to daven to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He wanted to be him and the Almighty, because the holy presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was in the city of Nov. They call him Ha'adomi. Why they call him the Adomi? Doeg Ha'adomi. The Metzudot David explained that the main reason that they call him Doeg the Edomite because he used to live in the land of Edom. He lived in Edom. Okay, so what does it mean, Abir Haroim? Okay, according to the Pshat of the Dvarim, he was in charge about all the shepherd. That means he was in charge about all the flock of King Saul. Pshat of the Dvarim. Rashi HaKadosh say, you know what it means, Abir Haroim? Abir Haroim mean that Doeg was the Av Bedin. He was the Av Bedin of Shaul HaMelech. He was the highest judge in a Jewish law in a court of Shaul, of the king. He was a great scholar person. Okay? Let's look at verse 9 and 10 and we try to understand. ויאמר דוד לאחימלך, ואין יש פה תחת ידך חנית או חרב, כי גם חרבי וגם כלי לא לקחתי בידי, כי היה דבר המלך נחוץ. ויאמר הכהן, חרב גוליית הפלישתי אשר הכית בעמק האלה, הנה היא, לוטה בסמלה, אחרי האפוד, אם אותה תיקח, קח, כי אין אחרת זולתה.
David then said to Ahimelech, perhaps you have here under your hand a spear or a sword. For I did not take my sword and my weapons with me, since the king's mission was urgent. The Kohen said, the sword of Goliath, whom you slew in the Terebinth Valley, is wrapped up in a cloth behind the ephod. If you want to take it, for there's none other here except for it.
What's happening here?
That's funny.
The prophet here described that David HaMelech coming to Ahimelech and said to him, listen, when we've been sent to that mission, didn't have a chance even to take a sword or a spear because we have to live in such a hurry. We didn't even take any weapon. I didn't take my weapon with me. Not only that, tell me something. Do you have any weapon here? Ahimelech said to David HaMelech, this is the house of Hashem. In the house of Hashem, we don't keep weapon. The only weapon that there is here, it's your weapon. The sword that when you killed Goliath, it's wrapped in a cloth, you remember, and you left it here. That's the only sword that we have, and that's behind the ephod, behind the breastplate. He said, that's the only one that we have. In the house of God, we don't have any weapons. So he said to David HaMelech, basically, that's the only sword that I have. David HaMelech said to him, there is no better sword than the sword of Goliath. And obviously, David HaMelech took the sword and from Ahimelech. Let's look in verse 11 what the prophet tells us. ויקום דוד ויברח ביום ההוא מפני שאול ויבוא אל אחיש מלך גת.
David arose and fled from Saul on that day, and he came to Achish, king of Gat.
Okay. It's shot of the dvarim, David HaMelech, after he took the loaf of bread, he took the sword. Immediately, he didn't waste time. He ran where? Down to the south, to the king of Gad. So if he gone to the king of Gad, why did they call it Melech Achish? Why does he have two names? That's the question of the Mefarshim that we gonna answer. David HaMelech, if you remember, when he fought with the Plishtim, he fought with the king of Gath. The prophet tells us that his name Vayavo El Achish Melech Gad. Achish was the name of the king. The Mefarshim explained that in daytime they used to give the king two different names. One the name of the city, and one his name, Melech Achish, Melech Gat. That means to tell you that the king in daytime used to have two different names, and that's why it say here like this. It said that David HaMelech, when he came, Vayavo Achish Melech Gat, the king Achish and the king of God, and the south of Israel. In verse 12, Vayomru, here now David HaMelech been caught in a dangerous situation. Look what's happened. ויאמרו עבדי אחיש אליו. הלא זה דוד, מלך הארץ. הלא לזה יענו במחולות לאמור, היכה שאול באלפיו, ודוד ברבבותיו.
The servants of Achish said to him, "Is this not David, the king of the land? Is it not of him that they sing with timbrels, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands?"
We have to understand what's happened here. David HaMelech been put now in such a dangerous situation. We know that David HaMelech killed Goliath. David HaMelech killed many Philistines. David HaMelech, after he killed them, he also gone back and he chopped their foreskin. That means that he humiliated the Philistine. And now where did he run? He ran the city of Achish, Melech Gat, right in the south. Gat, we say, that Kiryat Gat was where was all the Plishtim. So David HaMelech, when he left, no, he ran to the city of Gat. Why? Rashi will explain. But the servant of the king saying to him, "Isn't that David HaMelech? We remember him. Look at him. This is David that people used to cheer for him. Not only that they used to cheer for him, they used to sing for him. They used to sing Shaul with his 1,000. David ברבבותיו. David, many more that he killed from the Plishtim." Rashi HaKadosh explained what's happening here. David HaMelech had nothing better to do. If you're running from Saul, why are you running now to another dangerous place? That they're going to kill you? What are you normal? What are you doing? Rashi explained like this. It was agreement between David HaMelech and Goliath. Actually, between Goliath and the children of Israel. Goliath said, whoever going to win the battle between him and whoever going to fight with him, the losing nation going to be slave to the winning nation. Rashi said that's the main reason that David HaMelech ran to the south, because they have agreement that they're going to be slave of the Jewish people. And that's why David HaMelech ran there. But it's not ending up there. Let's look what's going to happen. ויעשה וישם דוד את הדברים האלה בליבו, וירא מאוד מפני אחיש מלך גד.
David took this matter to heart and was greatly afraid of Achish, the king of Gath.
What happened? David HaMelech realized that his life now in danger. It's matter life or death for him. He listened to what the servants saying to Ahish. They're saying to Ahish, this is King David, is in our hand. This is David, the one that killed Goliath, the one that killed many of us. Is here with us, is in our hand basically. We have a chance to take revenge against him. David HaMelech realized the situation that he's in. In verse 14, we'll see what David HaMelech doing to save his life. וישנו את טעמו בעיניהם, ויתהולל בידם, ויטב על דלתות השער, ויורד רררו אל זקנו.
So he changed his demeanor, his attitude in their eyes, and feigned madness while in their presence. He scribbled on the doors of the gateway and let his saliva drip into his beard.
What's happening? Yeah. David HaMelech, when he realized that his life in danger, he started to act like a crazy man. He changed his speech, the way that he talked, like a foolish man, a stupid man, excuse my language, okay? Because he was in their hand. You have to do two different actions to save his life, said the Mefarshim. The first thing, what is he done? He start going to the front door of the city. The city used to be surrounded with wall and used to be two big doors, okay? And he used to scratch. What it means used to scratch? He starts writing on a door, whatever he wrote, with his nails, the Mefarshim explained, or with his hand. Not only that, David HaMelech now acts completely like a mad person. He let his saliva, on his beard. So people will definitely think this is not David HaMelech. A king cannot behave like this. The Malbim explained that David HaMelech done it because he was so frightened when he realized that they recognize him as the King David, that he was fighting with him, that he was killing their people. He realized that there's nothing else that he can do except to behave like a stupid person, like a mad person. Let's continue in verse 15 and we'll see what's happening here. In verse 15, it says like this, ויאמר איש אל עבדיו, הנה תראו, איש משתגע, למה תביאו אותו אליי?
Achish said to his servants, behold, you see the man is mad. Why'd you bring him to me?
What's happening? The prophet saying to his servant, you see this man, he acts like stupid. Ahish saying to the servant, this man is stupid, okay? How can you even imagine that a madman like him that you brought to me is King David? It can't be. That cannot be David HaMelech. That cannot be the great warrior that killed Goliath, that killed so many of us. Okay? Then I don't understand. why did you brought that madman to me? Verse 16, we'll see something extraordinary, and we have to explain it to understand what's hiding behind all of this story. The final verse. And then he said, Achish said to his servant, חסר משוגעים אני? כי הבאתם את זה להשתגע עליי? הזה יבוא אל ביתי?
Do I lack madmen that you have brought this one to carry on stupidly before me? Should this person enter my house?
What's happening here? Here Achish saying to his servant, I don't understand you. You bringing me a madman. You're saying that that's King David that killed Goliath, that killed so many of us. I don't understand. Why did you brought him to me? Am I short with stupid people that I need another crazy one? What does he mean by that? We have to understand what's happening. Hazal explained that Achish actually saying to his servant, listen, I'm not short with stupid people. I'm not short with crazy people in this house. Why? Why is he not short with crazy people in his house? The Mefarshim explain, לא עלינו ולא על אף אחד מעם ישראל, that Achish's wife and Achish's daughter was mentally crazy. When he saw David, he said to his servant, in my house, I'm not short with crazy people. I have crazy people in my own house. Not enough what I have. Now you're bringing me more? Am I short? I'm not short with crazy people. Referring to his wife and his daughter. But then he says something very interesting. Hazeh yavo el beiti? Is that going to come to my house? What does he mean by that? The Metzudot David explained something extraordinary. The Metzudot David say that they used to bring a crazy people in the front of the king, and they used to do stupid things. They used to behave so crazy because people, stupid people, you don't know what they're going to do. Crazy people, you don't know how they're going to behave. And the king used to sit in his chair and he used to watch them how they behave, and they used to laugh about their behavior. Said the Metzudot David that the servant brought David HaMelech to King Achish to tell him, listen, we brought you David HaMelech that is even more crazy that's going to stay in what you have. But he said that Achish said to them, this man is too crazy. He's more crazy than even what I have in my own palace. David HaMelech, he referring to David HaMelech, that crazy man, is more crazy than what I have. I can't have them in my palace. Nachon, that you have a good meaning. By that you wanted to bring me someone to make me laugh, to enjoy. But this man, he referring to David HaMelech, he's too crazy. I can't have him in my palace. I can't have him in my house. So Achish said to his servant, please get rid of him. And by the way, that's how David HaMelech been saved. That's how the chapter ends. I want to end up with one thing. David HaMelech said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he understand whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu created, he understand in his world. But there's two things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in his world that he cannot understand. One of them is crazy people in the world. Why do we need crazy people in the world? The second one is the spider web. We'll get to the spider web later. Akadosh Baruch Hu said to David HaMelech, David, you think that you know better than me what are creating craziness in the world? Your life, you're going to use it. You're going to need it to save your life. And Hazal said that David HaMelech here said to Akadosh Baruch Hu, thank you that you create such thing as craziness in the world. Give me some of it to save my life. David HaMelech davened to Akadosh Baruch Hu when he stood in the front of Achish Melech Gat to give him some of that craziness to save his life. The second thing that David HaMelech said to Akadosh Baruch Hu, why there is spider web? What are you doing with those spider webs? We'll see later on when we're going to read further on in the book of Shmuel, why Akadosh Baruch Hu and how Akadosh Baruch Hu created. Why did he create the web? And how the web saved David HaMelech's life. Rabota, if we're summarizing what's happened here, David HaMelech now been told that he's a king, been anointed as a king. The next thing he found out, Shaul HaMelech put the punishment of death of a life. I don't care. I want that man, David, dead. David HaMelech didn't have a choice, left, escaped to the city of No. It was a city of only priests. The only people in that city that living in that city was only Kohanim. That's why they didn't have ordinary bread to give him. Not only that, David HaMelech, when he took the bread and when he took the sword, he saw that someone watching him. And remember that, because that's going to help us for the next few chapters to understand. Who was that? Doeg. Who was Doeg? According to one opinion of Rashi, he was the Avbedin. According to the Pshat of the Dvarim, he was in charge. Abir Hawaim, he was in charge about all the shepherds. He was in charge about the flock of King Saul. He took the bread. He was on a step virtually of death. He was starving. Hazal said by that Jonathan didn't give him something to eat, to take with him when he fled, that stood up against Jonathan. Where did he come? He came to the city of Achish and Gat. Why did he run there? According to Rashi, because it was agreement between Goliath and David HaMelech. Whoever gonna win, the losing nation gonna be a slave. So he was thinking that he's safe. But when he hear how the servant of King Achish speaking, he realized that his life is between, he's basically walking on a very fine line, or death or a life. David HaMelech decided to behave like a fool, like crazy, and that's what saved himself. David HaMelech have to behave like this, and Akadosh Baruch Hu prepare that the wife of Achish and the daughter of Achish both mentally crazy. So Achish said to his servant, am I short with crazy people in my house that you bring me another one? And that's how David HaMelech said. But I hope that you enjoy chapter 21. I hope that you remember and it put you back all the memory of the story between David and King Saul. And Be'ezrat Hashem will continue with chapter 22, Be'ezrat Hashem, next week. And after that, I think that we need to prepare for Lag BaOmer. We'll do shiur about Lag BaOmer, Be'ezrat Hashem, and then we'll do for Yom HaAtzmaut. We need to prepare ourselves. So we'll see how we're going to play again with the shiurim. In the meantime, I would like to thank each one of you individually. Thank you very much for joining the show. I hope that you enjoy it.